Hi, Misha.
Hi, John.
Thanks for joining me in this series about things that are happening or that we're learning at Portland Shambhala. And I thought it was a great opportunity when I heard that you were involved in presenting a Learn to Meditate kind of program on the Oregon coast. And since all of us are learning to meditate and learning to help others meditate, I thought hearing from you could be a really cool opportunity. So could you tell us what it was like? What did you learn?
Yeah, sure. So the the event happened at I believe, at the Nehalem Community Center, and actually, over 30 people came and showed up, uh, of various ages, and it was pretty amazing to see all those people to show up on a Saturday morning and spend 2.5 hours with us. Reina was the one who was leading the workshop and did a really wonderful job. Some of the folks who came because they know Sarah Todd, who is living out on the coast and is a Portland Sangha member and is running a monthly meditation group, and so they also came. And so the idea was to sort of like, you know from my understanding, is to say, hey, this is a tool that's available to all of us. And um I have my own interest in sort of how to talk to people about meditation and how to sort of teach or relate to people around meditation. And um you know we come from a Shambhala tradition, but relating to people around meditation without that specific language that we bring from Shambhala, I feel is very important, so that it's relatable to folks. Um, and so for me, that's where sort of I have that interest in reaching out beyond Shambhala and manifesting what we have to offer.
Yeah, that's cool to explore that. And so how did you feel? Did Yeah, tell us
I
more.
yeah. So I felt actually I felt really touched because people came and people asked questions, which was really nice because I sometimes run into, or I have been in situations where people show up to like learn about meditation and people just don't really ask a lot of questions. So there were a lot of really, really interesting questions. And so some folks talks about sort of how to relate with their chronic pain or how to work with their mind, right? Um, I felt um, the energy was really warm to me and curious. I think I could feel the sort of curiosity, um, and people had really positive things to say in terms of when we actually practiced meditation, and so people shared what the experience was like, and people said that it felt good. And so I mean, as you and I are meditators, we have our own relationship to meditation, and we're always, I mean, I'm kind of a geek around this, and so I'm always interested in sort of talking to people and having questions. But it was really nice to see people interested, so I felt excited, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like the best attitude to bring to meditation is curiosity. Is like, well, what's going on?
Hmm. Hmm.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I do, like I said earlier, I do, I'm very interested in, sort of, there has been a lot of talk about meditation and mindfulness in media for a number of years now. There's some science behind it. And I think that, uh, as practitioners in Shambhala, we have an opportunity to sort of manifest what we have learned in our practice and sort of on our path, and then present it to people without the jargon that we use typically, and just manifest like that feeling,
Yeah.
you know? And
Yeah.
that was really nice for me to just go and be outside of Shambhala community, be in a community that is interested in how to, relate with their mind, slow down, somehow relate that to their everyday life.
I mean, it's interesting to think about, well, what's the function of our jargon inside a community, and how does it support our learning? And at the same time, sorry, this is very informal, as I said.
Yeah.
So we have another minute left. And, I'm thinking about, well, the jargon that we use in Shambhala is very practical in some ways for
Mm-hmm.
our inquiry, for our continued learning. And yet it's very important to learn how to drop it and, really learn the kind of natural way of speaking that our friends that we've not met yet on the coast, have to offer as they learn to meditate.
That's very true. And in coming on the heels of the Art of Being Human weekend, I felt I felt really inspired. And it really is. Like, meditation to me is a perfect tool to relate to oneself as a human being in our humanness, whatever that manifestation is, right? And so I felt inspired also. I was excited, inspired, and it really is like a conversation around how to be a human being when we talk about meditation practice. To me, that's what I experience.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. So thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.